Hey Scrappy peeps, it's Suzanna here today with another Scrappy Christmas in July layout. This is the layout. It was created using Jingle All the Way from my mind's eye, as well as a few other Christmas goodies in my stash. Most of the Jingle All the Way, in fact, yeah, most of it came from Tuesday morning on a stash, so I'm stash bashing some Tuesday morning goodies. I am also using some of the goodies that were in, so I combine that with goodies that are from a scrap room kit again. I got a lot of Christmas in my scrap room kits, and I don't actually scrap Christmas in December. Nobody has time for that, which is why I never get my December daily done. And so that's why I like to do Scrappy Christmas in July. So this is some American Crafts glitter tape. I cut a header for the top of the photo, and then I am going to use these 4x3 cards, journaling cards, to create a banner down the bottom. I also have the brad set, and I thought that this really big floral would be nice to add to the header of the page here. So this is an 8.5 by 11 page, a large photo 8.5 by 11 page. I'm going to pause there while I was pulling out that tape again, the glitter tape. So it's funny, I actually end up going back and putting it in. I experiment with it and I'm like, nah, I don't like it. And the reason that I didn't like it initially was because I had all of those elements at the bottom, and then the photo is almost silhouetted. So you almost have a silhouette of my husband and my daughter against the backdrop, which is the Biltmore. And I wasn't sure about the contrast between the silhouette and the white, but once all the elements end up there, that is when I realized that I do need that contrast, and you'll see that later in the process video. So sorry to jump around there, but I wanted to explain what ends up happening with that. So I forget what I was talking about, however, because I spent a long time on that. Oh, the photo. So this is an 8.5 by 11 layout. That's a large photo. However, the photo is whatever 6 by 4 it translates to 8.5 wide. So in Photoshop, I edit my photo and I get ready to print it. And in size, I go for width 8.5, and whatever that height gives me is what I stick with. And then what I do is I drop that into an 8.5 by 11 blank canvas, and then kind of play with a header, the white space that will be above and below that photo, so that I have a full canvas and don't have to waste a whole piece of pattern or of paper. Now, photo paper, yes, is more expensive, but it's just easier that way to not be piecing together bits and pieces of paper. So that Christmas card is a way, way, way old stash bash, and that is from Chic Tags, and so that will build the title up there. I had already pre-put the letters, the gold letters that say Biltmore, and so I want to complete the title on that tag there. So now I'm cutting these cards down. I'm trying to find a pleasing arrangement of these cards to banner them that will just become the bottom or the footer of the page. You see that stamp set to the left there, neat and tangled. So there's those graduated stars, and my idea had been to stamp the stars underneath so that there was something underneath the banners, but there isn't a lot of space that ends up showing, and I just felt like it was going to take away from the banners, which is why I did not end up doing that. So I have 4 cards here. One has lines that is perfect for journaling. The other 3 I am going to notch to have banners and fit across the page. I feel like I did a good job of matching the colors, but by the time I put the 4 in, I feel like it needs just a little something else. It seems very boxy and regimented, so you'll see that once I get them down, I'm going to fish for a couple more cards in order to try and add just a little bit more variety to that. I do leave this journal card unnotched because it goes straight down. It is white and it looks perfect just going straight down. It would also look funny notched where the journal lines are. I do raise it up a little bit, and the reason I raise it up is to provide that contrast again between the silhouetted people and that contrast, that card there. So I pull out this scrap. Actually, I think I might have cut it. It's a full card that I cut, and I put it in. And the reason I chose that sort of limey green is because that same limey green is in the photo, but it stands out in stark contrast because it's literally the only element that ends up being in that limey green. So I'm going to search for something else that will work as a fifth card in there. I love these cards. You can use them not only for pocket journaling, but also on your layouts. I designed for LE Studio, and you'll see that I use a lot of 4x3 pocket cards on traditional 12x12 pages. And I love the layers that they provide, as well as, yeah, and you can do things other than grid layouts with them. So I'm just going to copy that same size because I thought that same size fits, and I do go with the red. The Christmas colors are very traditional in this particular collection and work well with this photo. The colors are kind of cooler in the collection, whereas the pictures or the picture has more of a warmer tone to it, and I like the balance that they create and offset each other. We were indoors, and this is in the what I'm going to call sort of the walk-in atrium area, and a choir was singing. They're kind of in that bottom left corner of that photo there. Biltmore at Christmas is just absolutely amazing. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. So I have the chipboard that I also got from Tuesday morning, and I wanted to incorporate a few more of the floral pieces and kind of create more of a built-up floral element in that top center, but it really was too busy. There's enough floral there as it is, and then also having that white border around that braided element made it really difficult to add things. So here I have a chipboard bow that I was determined I was going to incorporate into the layout somehow, but it doesn't actually ever make it. The only chipboard piece that actually ends up on there is that poinsettia that I'm going to put on the journaling element. I do have a couple more brads that I'm going to throw in there and add just some little teeny tiny embellishment clusters. They are not necessary, really. In many ways, this layout could be called done as it is, if you like clean and simple, but I have all of this stuff, this goodness, and I want to get a little bit more incorporated into the page. So this is where I abandon the rest of the chipboard. I do like to use additional adhesive on chipboard because I find that when they're standing up in their page protectors, things tend to fall off, and the liquid adhesive just helps keep them there. These are some letter stickers from Pretty Little Studio that I ordered on sale, I think last Christmas after the Christmas season. Those are some Martha Stewart poinsettias. They're 3D poinsettias, and I just wanted a little something, a splash of red in that corner there so that you can see, kind of draw your eye to that being the title. I am going to move the title around the way that I ended up leaving a gap between Christmas and Biltmore, and then I also left the number on that tag visible, and I didn't like it. So I'm going to move at above the number, or cover the number, and then shift Biltmore up and the tag down so that it kind of reads more consistently. I used a date stamp there on a little tag that's from Webster's, old Webster's collection, and I didn't like the way that the stamping ended up happening, so I'm going to pull off that tag and put another tag on, and instead of stamping the date, I am going to actually just use a word, and I can't remember what that word is, and I don't have the layout in front of me. I apologize. So these are the enamel dots that go with the collection. So the photo is pretty dark, and I wanted to add a little bit more contrasting color up there. So I have a few of those dots that I'm going to use, but you can't really see them, and I wanted them to be a little bit more visible. So I'm going to take a Webster's tag, and the white provides that contrast, and again, it's that cool white color, and that creates another little visual interest embellishment cluster to the page, allows me to add a little extra something, and then I have those words Those are, I believe, from Authentique. Again, they are old Christmas stash. And the word, one says pure, the other says joy. So put together, obviously they say pure joy. And I like that little cluster there. It's kind of hidden, tucked into that white glitter tape. And then I'm going to put the other half of that label down the bottom there. And so it creates a little bit of a visual triangle between those three labels that will be on the layout there. So this is where I return and I do put that white in. You know, I go back and forth. Part of me loves it, part of me hates it, but it's there. It's on a film photo, so it's there to stay. And I don't, it's not that I hate it. I think it's almost too much contrast. I'm not sure what I think about it. What do you think? You think yay? You think nay? If it were your layout, would you leave it there or would you take it off? I still can't decide. I've watched this video several times trying to edit it and put it all together and taking the photos. So, you know, you see your work and I still can't decide what I think. But it's there and it's there to stay at this point. So this is where I'm going to incorporate a couple other brads. I've got that red one near that cluster up there, and then I'm going to put another one in this little cluster down here. And again, it's just that unity of things that kind of moves your eye across a page. So this is that other green brad that I put there. I do, when I put brads in, I like to use my artist's tape behind them. So again, when I slide things into the page protectors, sometimes things tend to I forget that there are things back there and they can tend to snag on the page protector. So that just provides a little bit of, I guess, support and protection to the page there. I am going to journal, and you all who know me and follow me know that I do that off camera. I tried covering up this date that didn't work with these letter stickers, except that they're numbers because I was going to put in 2018, but they were too big. And so this is where I just pull off that label. I think that was a green label, and I'm going to go ahead and put that red one on. And again, I try those number stickers, but again, the label is the same size, so it's not going to be any different. And so I pull those off camera, and I'm just going to put a word date stamped into there. So that, my friends, calls it good. That is my third Scrappy Christmas in July layout. There is one more to come later this month. Enjoy the close-ups. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. I thank you for joining me today. Come back soon. Take care.